In today's self-care session, I'm going to be addressing some knee pain. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it's happening. I haven't even really been that active lately despite some everyday rowing, just normal life stuff. But this knee has lit up on me, and I think it's not uncommon for a lot of us to experience weird issues that seem to be not attributable to much of anything. I remember one time I totally threw out my knee, and all I had done was I planted my foot and I turned away without moving the foot, rotated the knee, and it was just toast. And it was like I didn't even have a good story for it. But in any case, addressing ongoing chronic issues is one of the things that I'm sort of all about. So this is a self-care session, calling it Kneehab. This is just what I would do for myself, what I do for myself off camera. I'm going to address my right knee today. And I would normally start with just some sort of testing. I'm going to do a little bit of range of motion here to see how far I can bend this knee. So I'm just going to curl it back. That's a little rough already. And this is a good opportunity to see if I can get some stretch out of this quad. Because really when I think about addressing any area, I want to see how its range of motion is to start. So I can get some good quad stretch here. Locking it out, that's painful. It's mostly climbing stairs that seems to be a lot of the issue for me right now, but whatever it is, whatever's going on with your knee, or if you run a lot, this is all applicable. It's all the type of stuff that you'd want to do on a regular basis, especially if you do a lot of lower body stuff, running, hiking, even just regular walking. It's good to check in with the knees, which can be fragile. So I'm gonna go back to that quad stretch. I just want to address everything around the knee, because there's not so much you can do at the joint itself, from my perspective anyway, with soft tissue. I need to address the quads, the hamstrings, the calves, and the front of the lower leg, that tibialis anterior. All of those things cross over the knee joint. There's all sorts of muscles and tendons and ligaments in this area. I'm just starting with quad stretch. I just want to hold this out. Can lean back a little more. I'm surprised actually that this isn't hurting more for me right now, but I'm trying to do this with minimal editing just to give you a sense of what I go through to address chronic issues, or even issues that just pop up. Like, my knee is not normally a problem. I don't usually have a lot of knee issues, but this one is a huge distraction. So I want to see what I can do to help myself along the way. All right, quad stretched. Now, I want to stretch out the hamstring. I'm going to challenge that. I'm going to lay on my back here. I'm going to start with pulling my knee to my chest, and then kicking the leg up. We're going to stretch out this hamstring right here at the back of the upper leg, the opposite side of your quads. Now, I already feel a stretch. A lot of people can get a straight leg and go all the way up. I'm feeling a stretch in the hamstring right here, so I'm just going to pull that a little more. try and straighten the leg. I can actually, if I pull my toes toward my head right here, I can even feel a stretch in the calf. I'm going to do a little bit of both, but mostly I want to focus on the hamstring here. I might find that just the stretching alone alleviates a lot of the issue that I have right now. But I just have a whole series of things I like to go through to address issues like this. That's why we call it a self-care session. Today is knee-hab. Rehab the knee. All right, I got the quad stretched. I got a hamstring stretch. That's above the knee. I now want to stretch out muscles below the knee. That can be a little bit hard to stretch out this, the tibialis anterior, this area that we can get like shin splints in. But I'm gonna figure out the best way to go about that. So, well, let's start on the back. It's easier to stretch out the back of your calf. So, in this position, I can just actually reach out, pull my toes towards my head, and I feel this stretch on the back of my calf. That's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it would be to hang off of a stair and you let your heels drop. That's kind of the easiest way. But I don't really have a stair to stand on. I'm going to do this downward dog style thing. So from here, I'm dropping my heel to the floor, and that does all the stretch I need it to. With a straight leg, you get one area of the muscles, more of the gastroc part of your calf. If you can drop that knee in a little bit, you can get the soleus underneath that, but all of it's going to get here. So you can kind of pedal out the other side too. I'm really worried about my right knee and focused on that right now, so I'm not too worried about hitting the other side, but if you have leg issues on both sides, you can do both sides. So this is a nice deep stretch for my right calf right here. Nice and simple. Okay. All right. Now, I might think about using a foam roller for this, to try and get this muscle stretched out. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it... Man, that's a nice challenge for the knee right there, but that's almost too much. That angle is really rough on it, on my knee. So I'm going to focus on a different way for this front of the leg stretch. I'm just going to point my toes actively, maybe reach out, give it a little bit more of a press. I just want this opened up a little bit, but I think we'll focus more on this area with some of the soft tissue work because it's easier to get to. The stretch can be challenging to get a good stretch along the front of the lower leg, unfortunately. Okay, we got stretchy, 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 stretchy across the knee. Now, even though I'm focused on my right knee, I'm going to do this for both. Basic foam roller. Gonna let you can see this. I just have the foam roller under my ankles right now, and I'm just gonna slowly roll it up towards myself, towards my head, and every time I give it a little roll, I'm gonna shake my legs back and forth. I just want to start compressing those calves underneath. I'm going to go nice and slow with this. Just roll it up, shake the legs out, move it up a little bit more, shake it out, Move it up a little bit more. And I can feel tightness in that right calf. It's like strumming over a tight muscle that I don't notice on the left side. Ooh. Yeah, feeling what I'm feeling right now makes me wonder if the knee issue is actually coming out of this muscle on the back of my lower leg. Flex my toes toward my head, roll it out. Point the toes, roll it out. It's good to just try different things. You can actually activate the muscle by rolling your ankles in different directions. Experimentation is the key to these self-care sessions. You gotta find the thing that works for you. And I'm still compressing the calf muscles against this foam roller, looking for tight areas. So I just did them both together. Now, since I noticed so much tension in that right side, I'm gonna go back down to the bottom. This time I'm gonna focus on the right side. I'm gonna take the left side out of it, but I'm gonna utilize it by putting my left foot on top of my right foot. So now I have extra weight to kind of compress with against the foam roller. And again, I'm gonna start at the just above the ankle, and I shake that leg out, roll it up, leg over leg. Always breathing through this stuff. This is where it starts to get dicey. Okay. Now I realize it's hard to communicate how intense this is for me right now because it looks like I'm doing absolutely nothing. But what I have is tender areas in my gastroc on the back of my lower leg compressed against the foam roller with my left leg on top of that right leg, adding more pressure. And I seem to have come across an area that is extraordinarily unhappy. But even as I sit here talking, it backs off a little bit. It's that little melt you get when you do this. And you start to notice it the more you do it. But so that's less intense now. So now I'm gonna roll it up a little bit more. Get that left leg back on top. Find a new intense angle. Oh, it's rough. The struggle is real, but we're going to take some of the tension out of here. This is going to inform me later when I get to some other interventions and techniques. Roll it up a little more. That left leg to add some more pressure. Roll it out. Get it more on the side here. Okay, just about done on this calf. Okay, all right, calf done for now. Now we're gonna take a look at the muscle on the front side of the lower leg. This would be the tibialis anterior primarily, coming down from the knee toward the foot. It's the one that helps you lift your foot off the gas. You feel it pop up there when you do that. And I feel tightness, tension, just from a little bit of pushing, I can tell. Now, it's hard to roll this one out on a foam roller the way I did with the back of the leg. You kind of can. It's just harder to get to. So I like to use more of a stick roller for this. So I'm just going to start at the knee and just give this some passes here. Whew. Just going to smooth out that tibialis anterior with this pin roller. You could even use like a dowel rod or a broomstick or a wine bottle, something that you might just have around. But I find this one made by Tiger Tail pretty helpful. Okay. Just a really tight spot pretty close into my knee, which I'm going to need to target later with some different tools. Okay. Now we go back to the foam roller. I want to compress the tissues above the knee, the hamstrings and the back of the leg. So for that one, start above the knee. Just going to push myself up here and glide down. So the foam roller is moving towards my butt. This is not so bad for me right now, actually. This is pretty easy. We got that one. I'm focused on the right leg, so I'm going to put the left leg on top of the right leg to increase the pressure and intensity. This hamstring seems to be doing okay for me. I don't feel any areas of focused tension, but still good to check it out. Okay, now similarly, I want to roll out the quads. So, need to get the foam roller positioned just above the knee. I'm going to roll out from the knee to the hips. And I'm going to roll up and up and up. The knee to the hips and back again. Again, I'm more concerned with the right side. So I can just shift my weight to the right, and that increases the tension. Also allows me to explore different angles. It's kind of rolling to the right a little bit. I could get the inside, sort of the inner thigh, angle this knee out a bit, this way. Ooh, that is intense in there. The inner thigh, the adductors. Ooh. Now I'm wondering if that's part of the knee problem. Okay. And then, to really increase the intensity, I'm going to get the left leg off the foam roller onto my right leg. That's almost too much for me to handle, honestly. But I shall persevere, push through the pain. It's never so intense that it seems dangerous. If that's the case, then you're going too hard. It should really be at a level where it sort of hurts so good when you're addressing issues anywhere in the body. There's a difference between hurt so good kind of pain and suffering kind of pain. So you got to keep an eye on that. Whew. Okay. Now. Okay, so we did some stretching. We did some rolling. We are going to move on to a little massage gunning because I have one. And I feel like if you own a massage gun, you ought to use it from time to time. So I just have the regular ball attachment. I'm just going to get in all around this knee, just like this. Fire this up. Maybe a little higher, go to a medium level. All right, I'm going to start with the quads. You don't ever want a massage gun directly on bone. You want to find those soft tissues. I'm going to get the IT band on this side, hip to knee. Just want to get good coverage here. This percussive vibration, sort of self-massaging. If you're a runner, I think a massage gun is a good investment, or a hiker. If you put in a lot of steps, miles, call it what you will, it's just such a quick and easy thing that you can do for yourself. There's other areas where the massage gun is less helpful. You know, it's hard to massage gun your own back, but for self-care, massage gun, if you use your legs a lot, I'm coming in pretty close to the knee here. That vibration I feel like is helping. It's getting in there. Harder to massage gun the hamstrings, but I'm just gonna prop up right here to get a nice, like a massage gun session with hamstrings. This is ideal if you can get someone else to do it while you just lay there. I mean, that's true of all types of massage and interventions like this, but just want to address the hamstring a little bit. Okay, address the calf a little bit. That front of the lower leg. And I remember some specific tension right in here. I'm going to push a little harder on this massage gun, put it to the test. Oh, that's intense. Wow. Okay. Down we go. Since I'm here, I'm just going to give my feet a little bit of attention. Hate to leave them out, even get the left foot. But more importantly, the right foot. See if there's any muscles here that attach down to the bottom of the foot, go up, around, through the ankle, up into that area that could be part of the line of pull that's causing an issue with my knee. All good things to explore. But also, we put our feet to the test every day. It's good to treat them well. One of these self-care sessions is going to be all feet. In fact, there's not that many different areas of the body, so I'll be repeating these things, but feet should be coming up one of these sessions soon. All right. So, we did some stretching. We did some foam rolling, did some massage gunning. Now, I think I'm just going to test my knee out here a little bit, see how it's checking in. Honestly, it feels a lot better already, I can tell. But there was some areas, particularly on this, and the lower leg here, on the front, and on the back. That's where I noticed the most tension when I was doing this. So when I circle back from my stretching, from my foam rolling, I want to go get a little deeper on those areas. So for me, it's going to be the calf and this tibialis anterior on the front. Now, for you, if you're going through a self-care session for your knee, for your legs, maybe your tension was up here in the quads or the hamstrings, and that's what you're going to circle back and focus with a little bit more precision. So, on my lower leg, on the front side, I think my best way to target this is actually going to be with something more direct. I'm going to try it with a little bit of oil. I just want to be able to glide a little bit better. Now, I don't like to overuse hand strength, but there's times when it can come in handy if you do it right. So I'm going to grip all the way around my calf here. I'm going to go thumb over thumb. I'm going to push through this thumb with the upper one, and that's going to be the focus point. So I'm coming in, starting up at the top. I'm going to glide down. You can already, yeah. So I got a spot here. It's resisting me. It's pushing back. I can feel it. It's that hurts so good thing. I'm going to pin it down, and then I'm going to lift my toes towards my head. Kind of activate that muscle underneath the pressure. Maybe create some circles. Now, again, I don't want to overstress my hands, so I'm just going to leave it at that with my fingers, but I have some other tools here handy. This is sort of a dull-edged metal tool they use for gua sha. We call it a type of fascial scraping. I'm going to come in here a little bit. I'm going to move from my ankle up towards my head a little bit. These are a little bit more advanced of an intervention. It's not something most people have. If you want to sort of understand what it feels like, you could use the dull side or the handle like the rounded side of a butter knife or something. Obviously not the sharp side. That would be insane. So I'm just going to kind of come in here. This is a different sort of intervention. I'm sort of breaking up some of the fascial tissues that surround these muscles. Maybe I can achieve the effect of separating some of the compartments from each other in case any of those are stuck together. It is intense, and it will kind of raise up some red bumps on your skin typically. They call that petechia. I don't need to do a lot of this because a little goes a long way. Okay. And even this style tool, I don't know, I'm still trying to feel it out, but you got to use your hand strength a little more than I'd like. This is another one, this copper one. The problem is, oh no, this works here. Oh my gosh, that's intense. Okay, so did a little fascial scraping, did a little direct soft tissue manipulation. Selecting another tool. All right, I think I'm gonna go with, still have so much oil on my hand. I'm gonna go with this one. This thing is a sort of a trigger point tool, they call it. You can compress with all the different ends. It's most notably you're supposed to grip with your hand like this, and then you have this focus thing right here to push with. So that is what I shall do. I'm finding that tender spot that I had here. And this is much easier on my hands. This is really easy to grip, apply the pressure. Now, it doesn't look like I'm doing much, but that's pretty intense. Again, I'm going to challenge that pressure that I've created a little bit, lifting my toes. Lift up the tool. Reposition, find a new angle, find a new vector. Okay, compressing a little bit more in this focused area. Okay. Could almost use this like a hammer too. But really, if I want to do this type of thing, I'd either go back to the massage gun, or I create little bird beaks with my fingers, and I can percuss my own soft tissues. This percussive work is just a different style of massage. We don't use it so much in massage therapy. It can be sort of abrasive for people. It's not the most relaxing, but it's sort of like, tenderizing meat, if you will. It's kind of the same concept, but it's effective for self-care work. I do use it on my clients sometimes too, but less often. Okay, so that piece I addressed. I still had some focused tension in the back of my lower leg here. And I think to address that, I noticed it when I was rolling on the foam roller. So I think I might just place a lacrosse ball underneath my calf and see if I can't find that tension back. I'm sure it won't be hard. It's just going to be a lot more, since it's a smaller surface to compress against, more focused. Yep, there it is. Just really just that easy. Just placed lacrosse ball in my gastroc here in the back of my lower leg. I found that focal point of tension, and now I'm just letting the weight of the leg, allowing that tension to melt over the ball. Could challenge it a little bit by rotating the leg at the hip. Could straighten the leg and soften, lock out the knee and soften. And already I've noticed that pain, that initial intensity, it relaxes a little bit. And that tells me that the tissues are adapting to the challenge that I've provided them, and that now it's a good time to try and reposition the ball, find a new angle to come at that tension. There it is. Doesn't look like much, but right now I'm creating pressure with this lacrosse ball against my calf, moving my leg ever so slightly, different angles. Might even activate a little bit by pulling my toes toward my head and then pointing them, maybe even rolling my ankle around. Nice and easy. I just want to challenge those tissues while compressing them against the lacrosse ball. Now that's pretty intense on its own. I don't even know if I could handle adding the second leg, but that is an option. You could layer on your other leg to create even more pressure, but I can tell already I don't even need it. I'm just chilling right here. The one thing I think I will do is try and focus in a little more. So I have lacrosse ball, which is about the size of a tennis ball, but I also have this cork self-care ball, and that is going to be an even more focal point. So, and then I have an even smaller one, or I could go with the golf ball. Golf ball, probably the most intense because it's so hard and small. But this is more of a bouncy ball size. A little smaller than a golf ball, but it has more give, so it probably wouldn't be quite as intense. It's intense. All right, we're going to try it with a smaller ball. All right, moving down so you can see lacrosse ball and the cork. It's probably, I don't know, might be half as big. Smaller, more focused, more intense. Hard to see, but we got the little cork ball pinned underneath my calf muscle, right in that area. That was, oh my gosh, that's really intense. Very intense. That's a good sign. I like the intensity. Bring the intensity. It hurts so good. I hope this helps my knee. That's what I'm looking for. Addressing all these soft tissues around the knee is sort of my strategy for relieving the tension that I feel pulling across the knee. We did stretching, we did foam rolling, we did massage gunning, and now we came in with different tools. I used my hands on the front side a little bit with some oil, and had some other tools, did some percussive stuff. Now I have this smaller focused ball on the back of my calf, on my calf. Just rolling it around, finding different angles. I'm gonna move my foot again against that pressure. Now I've been going for about a half an hour here. It's kind of a long time. I think I would normally compress this sort of practice, but as I've sort of been explaining it, I've been less focused on the doing of it. So I might try to keep a session like this to 20 minutes. If it was a real issue, I might do 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. So that, I think, is going to wrap up what I want to try and do for my knee today. I'm going to sort of stress test it here, see how it feels compared to the start. It's pretty good. Of course, the real challenge will be when I get on the rowing machine later. We'll see how it reacts to that. I'm going to butterfly my legs here, see how my knee handles that. I can definitely tell that I'm feeling less pull in general, less pain through this knee. From just some simple, easy interventions. I think a foam roller is key. They're very affordable. You can literally get one for $10, I think. And the other tools are optional. I think if you walk and run a lot, you might consider a massage gun. Lacrosse ball is also crucial. They're like $5. And then the different sizes of things are all kind of, what you think you might need for yourself. I'm starting to create more of these self-care sessions with different focuses for what I'm working on that day, and building up a library of these things. The full sessions will be shared primarily on YouTube, and then I'll be chopping things up for all the short form things. And I'm trying to record them live, so if you happen to be here for the live, I appreciate that. Hopefully if you didn't join me with some of the self-care stuff, at least you got some ideas for it. So that is it for today's knee-focused self-care session.